how would you like your next property deal to be a commercial to residential conversion? Well, one of the big problems is people think, I'd love to do big deals, but I just don't have the money. And here's the key. When you find really good property deals, you can attract other people to fund those deals for you. I want to give you a real life example of this. I'm going to show you a video that's actually for one of our graduate days, one of our Property Mastermind graduates, Andy, is going to be sharing exactly that project, how he's done it, funded by other people. He explained exactly the project numbers, how he's done it, and I think you'll learn a huge amount and be massively inspired by Andy's success. So let's go and watch the video. So let's hand over to our next speaker, Andy.
All of us, Andy. Thank you. Hi, like you said in the slide, my name's Andy Tattersfield. My background was 25 years in the motor trade. Taught me quite a few things. By no means least to get out of it as quick as I could. I did Mastermind 33, so I'm kind of fresh out of the oven and just baked. It was an interesting year, Mastermind 33. I was suffering with a few health issues through 33, and I could have quit several times. It really did. It took a bit of a toll. However, just the support network around it, pulled me through it, and it's been an amazing time coming out the end of it. So during my mastermind year, it really didn't feel like I achieved much in property, but it seems to now at the end started to gather momentum. So a couple of case studies for me. Okay, so this is the first case study. Just before I go through this case study, really quickly, there is one that came before this, and it was a 2-bedroom cottage in Doncaster. And everything Simon said, I kind of did the opposite. I've always said to myself, I've always wanted to renovate a house. Simon says, don't. But it's an itch I've always wanted to scratch. Yeah, don't do it. But I've been watching homes and, man, it's amazing. And what these people, just don't do it. I'm going to do it. So we bought this 2-bedroom house in Doncaster. It's 170 years old. It has 170 years worth of problems, let me tell you. We've taken it back to brick. It's coming good. But you know what, Simon, you're absolutely right. Don't do it. So that's the last time I will go against your advice. So thank you for that advice. So this is the current project that we're working on at the moment. It was a Chinese restaurant. It closed in COVID in 2020. It's a bit dilapidated. It's been broken into a couple of times. What you can't see on, well, you can see on there now, is the owners didn't really protect it very well. So people have been in, they've done a bit of damage in there, etc. It's 700 square metres over 3 floors. It's a great building. It started off as a women's prison at the turn of the century. It then became a picture house, and then a bingo hall, and eventually it became a Chinese restaurant. We were there this week just gone, putting some shutters up, and we found a secret staircase we didn't even know was there. So we climbed up to it, looked in, and it's a stone spiral staircase. It's been bricked in. So I'm quite looking forward to getting in and investigating that a little bit later on. But it is all now secured. The plan with this is to turn it into 12 flats. We've got a great architect that we're working with who's drawn up some fantastic plans for us. He's got a real good vision for this one. 4 2-beds and 8 1-beds. We're going to go into the loft. The space is there. We've already had a planning pre-app meeting with Doncaster Council. They're happy for us to go into the loft with Velux windows. The space works, and the top flat's going to make some amazing flats up there. So it's a bit of a challenge with this one because the owners of this building are overseas. They retired after COVID and moved back to Hong Kong. So dealing with 2 sets of solicitors, etc., one in Hong Kong and one in the UK, has been quite a challenge. But perseverance, we've stuck in there, and we're just about to get it over the line. This one, again, was one of my, after the little cottage, this is my first major deal, this one. And what I used for this is Property Filter. I knew about the building before Property Filter, but I found it on Property Filter, and it was using the information on there, the history of the sale of the building. It was up at 285,000 at first. In 2022, it sold, it had fallen through, it had been reduced, etc. And just using that information, I was talking to the agent, who we've got a really good relationship with now, and they're now starting to bring deals to us. And it was just the type of questions that we were taught at Mastermind, finding out what the people's pain were. And it was just that simple question, how can I solve it? What pain are these people in, and what can we do to solve it? And the agent really just told us everything. And it was a really good insight. And that's where we went. So Tattersfield was brilliant on this for us. It's in a conservation area, so it's brought up a number of challenges. However, we've got a great relationship with the conservation manager in this area. We've got them involved right from the get-go, and they're really feeling part of the process, and they're coming up with suggestions, etc. And we're really confident we're really, you can just see like the little orange yellowy sign at the front. That's the original Royal Electric Theatre sign. It's a beautiful sign, and it's just been carved up and made an awful mess of to turn it into a restaurant sign. So we're going to put that all back. We're quite excited because the outside of this building is absolutely beautiful. So we've done the pre-app first. We had a meeting with the council for the pre-app. They're right up for this. It's quite exciting. It's my first time I've ever done any kind of planning, etc. But just prepping with our architect. I think someone mentioned this morning about a power team. Building that power team has been absolutely vital to us. Some of the figures, some of the pictures. Okay, so you can see the plans there and a bit of the layout of the flats. It's just the most amazing place inside. It's full of goodies, I can't tell you. I've got a meeting tomorrow on site. I'm like a child with this, I'm so excited. We've got a meeting tomorrow with a capital allowance specialist who's, he's already given us a bit of an estimate on what we can expect in there. We did a video for him to explain and show him, and he's meeting us on site tomorrow to put that together. So we're quite excited for that. The capital allowance is going to be an icing on the cake. It doesn't really form part of the deal. So what we get from that is just icing on the cake. There are some of the figures. So it started off at 285,000 in November 2022. We've got it for 180,000. The cheeky bid at first was 140. We got laughed out of the park, but it was worth it because it got the ball rolling. I think it was Chris who talked about doing an unusual figure. I think the final offer on this one was something like 179,551. It really was a figure just like that, because I was always taught the same thing. Make it look like you've put a bit of thought into it. Okay, GDV when we finish is going to be just under 1.1 million. We've got the refurb estimate there. These figures are now changing actually, because what's happened since, again, just growing and expanding our power team, we've really been introduced to a new mortgage broker. Wow, he's like a third joint venture partner. He sat down with this, and a couple of the deals that we're looking at the moment, and he just came up with it was the most amazing 2 hours just to sit with this person, probably kind of as enthusiastic as I am about rooting through all that stuff in there and see what I can find. He was like looking through the deal, etc. So that's really exciting. So these are all based on local rentals, etc. It's not the best area, but we've got a hospital less than a mile away. We've got transport. We can be in Sheffield or Doncaster within 10 minutes, or 20 minutes into Sheffield. So it's great for links, etc. So again, yeah, we're quite excited about this one. My top tips. Network. So through networking, that deal there is a no money down deal. I put no money in mine whatsoever. This really was me going on Facebook, which I don't particularly like. You might not think that if you see some of my Facebook stuff, but it does work. As uncomfortable as I feel, Steve contacted me. I've seen what you're doing in property. What's it all about? And I actually said to Steve, look, this is my joint venture partner. It's difficult to explain about this, but why don't you come to a network meeting with me, and that'll kind of open your eyes to what I'm about. So I invited Steve across to Sheffield Pin. Steve came and we sat down after that, and we've thrashed out a JV partnership, which is really paying dividends. So again, networking, I go to Amsterdam Pin, I go to the Netherlands Pin. I've not been for a while, but I will. I promise I'll come to that. Blackfriars. So I kind of get all over the place. I've really enjoyed it. I met some amazing people. Believe in yourself. That's probably more advice to myself, than you as a room. imposter syndrome is really still kind of there at the moment. You know, looking at you guys and the success you guys have, and I'm thinking, when I grow up, I want to be just as exciting and as good as these guys, but, you know, maybe one day. Never stop learning. Again, what Mastermind has taught me is just a new thirst for learning. You know, when I talked to my JV partner about capital allowance, because I'd sat down, I'd researched it, I understood it, I'd got contacts in it. When I brought that to Steve, his just mind was absolutely blown, and you know how I'm elevated in his eyes now with my expertise. Because you know what Steve said to me is, I've got the money, you've got the time and the expertise. You know, as far as I'm concerned, that's your equity. So everything that we do with Steve is 50-50. Make records of everything. I am terrible for forgetting things. I have a terrible memory. Because I think sometimes you saw that shiny penny, Lee, just jump from one thing to another. So I just try to record everything now, whether it's on my phone, on a piece of paper, or a voice note. Continuous learning and development, again, it kind of goes in with never stop learning. You know, I'm always looking for new things to learn, you know, and sink my teeth into, and really enjoy that. My success after Mastermind, I've now found a second joint venture partner. So we've got two now. Again, they were found using social media and then contacts and networking. We've got the 2-bedroom flip that I told you about, which is a little cottage that we're quite excited about because we're just about to get that completed and ready for the market. Once that's gone, we can focus on the other things. Town centre conversion, we've just been offered a building in Doncaster Town Centre. And this is now a point where people are bringing things to us. And that's quite exciting because, you know, I always struggle to visualise finding these off-market deals, you know, and people now are starting to see what I'm doing. They're starting to bring off-market deals to us. And continued learning. I keep saying learning because, again, just being on Mastermind for me is just giving me a massive thirst for learning and developing and growing. And that's the end of my presentation. So thank you for listening.
Thank you, Andy. A couple of things I want to ask you and share, if that's okay.
Yes.
This deal is a great deal. Who thinks it's a great deal, by the way?
Yes.
And if you don't mind, checking things to help everyone else. What was your thought about using other people's money when you started Mastermind?
Just nobody would give me any money. Nobody would have any, you know, value in me. So it was just difficult to get, and it wouldn't happen.
Yeah. But your joint venture partner has clearly said to you, as you said in the presentation, that your equity is your knowledge and the fact you found the deal.
Yeah.
And I know we keep saying it, but guys, you've got to understand that there are people out there who have money, and to you, money might seem like the valuable thing because that's what you don't have. But to them, what you have, the deal and the knowledge, is just as valuable, if not more valuable.
Yeah.
And you need to remember, you know about things like capital allowances that most people have most accountants don't even know about capital allowances. And sometimes in this environment where you look at other people and other people doing really well and doing deals, you sometimes forget just how much you know. Because you have invested in yourself, because you've done Mastermind and gone into other things like Property Entrepreneur, whatever, you've got an incredible amount of knowledge, far more than most people. Sometimes we don't give ourselves credit for that. You've really got to recognize the value you bring to this. So stop thinking that money is the most important thing. Money is important to do a deal, yes, but you also need the deal. You need the money and the deal. Without the deal, there is no deal. Without the money, there's no deal. So they are equal parity there. So in other words, focus on finding the really good deals through landlord letters, through property filter, through networking, through word of mouth, through social media. This is just the basic stuff we teach you. So many deals out there. Then, as long as you're letting people know what you're doing, as long as you're networking, as long as you're getting on social media, there are people out there who will want to come and work with you. And most of the people who you've worked with, people you've not, they're not family, they're not friends, they're people you haven't really known before, right?
Yeah.
And yet they've got the belief in you because you found some great deals.
Correct.
Yeah, so it's just amazing. Really good stuff. The other thing I would say is sometimes people get a joint venture partner and they think they have to do everything in that one joint venture partner. And I say it's good to give them a first refusal, but you might want to do different things that don't quite work for them. So you can have multiple partners on different deals. So just bear that in mind, because don't think you have to have the same partner for every single deal. Really, really important to understand, right? Any final words you want to share with people, Andrew?
Well, actually, yeah, if it's okay, it's a thank you, if that's all right. This is quite unexpected because I didn't expect him to be here today. But this is kind of the importance for me of a mentor. So when I came into this, I had zero belief. I actually went to my first PIN meeting to pick up some joinery work. I'd qualified as a joiner in lockdown just to convert a camper van for some leisure time for me and Sarah. And I went to a PIN meeting and I met Paul Hastings. And it was actually Paul who opened my eyes about not being a joiner. You know, he introduced me to PIN, he introduced me to my Mastermind Accelerator. And Paul has been pivotal, you know, in everything I've achieved. So, Paul, thank you very much.
Awesome. So, Paul, well done. Thank you. And let's hear it for Andrew one more time. Thank you, Andrew. All the best. I'm sure you found that a massively inspiring case study. Just goes to show when you find really good property deals, you will be able to attract other people to fund those deals. So you don't need to have a lot of money to invest in property as long as you know how to find really good property deals. I'd love you to comment below. What do you think about that video? Please like the video and also subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit the bell icon to make sure you're notified whenever we bring out a new video. I'd like to encourage you, as ever, to invest with knowledge, invest with skill. Enjoy the next video.